what's your title here at UTD?
I'm an assistant professor of
neuroscience. Hi, I'm Ayesha. I'm here with Dr. Kate Sadler, who's an assistant professor of neuroscience here at UTD, and we're going to talk about something to look forward to in USASP. So a lot of people have been talking about the Early Career Forum. I heard you're on the planning committee for that. What's that going to be like this year?
It's going to be a really exciting format this year, somewhat similar to what's happened in the past, but there's essentially a lunch that all of the trainees can attend. And then there are 3 different sessions that required pre-registration. But if you haven't registered, registration's due April 1st, feel free to email admin@usasp.org to get on the wait list. But the first session,
there's a whole wait list for
there's
this
going to
as
be,
well.
yeah. But the first session, we're splitting people up into those who would like to pursue an academic career. And the second half of the group is going to be people that are not necessarily interested in that. And so the people who are interested in a career in academia are going to hear from expert grant writers, so a program officer from the NIH, a former chair of a study section at NIH, and then another senior investigator with tons of experience writing grants and having her trainees write successful grants who's a clinician.
Nice.
We're going to hear, it's basically just like a panel where they're going to provide information, answer all the questions people in the audience have. It should be really great. And I'm in charge of chairing, or not chairing, but sort of,
organizing, coordinating all of that.
Yeah, right. So that's one of the options that people can attend. And then if you're not interested in the academia route, there are going to be people who have pursued non-academic career paths, and they're going to relay their experiences to the audience and then have a similar question and answer session, which will be awesome. So that's session 1. Session 2, people will be broken up by their career stage, and we're going to get feedback or information, helpful hints on how to effectively manage our time as either a graduate student, a postdoc, or an early career faculty member. And so they're going to be, again, expert panelists who will be there our own chair, Greg, will be there to share his information or his helpful tips on how he effectively manages his time, because he's a very busy person. And then session 3 are going to be small breakout tables where people, again, pre-registered to sit with a mentor and 8 other trainees at various stages to talk about a specific topic that were pre-selected by the professionals who are sitting at those tables. And then last but not least, there's a reception, because who doesn't want to chat, right? After all of that. And also just network, right? Yeah. Historically, USASP and its predecessor, the American Pain Society meeting, was my favorite meeting to go to every year, just because of I found really welcoming network opportunities and just the ease of networking at this meeting. So I always also look forward to the Early Career Forum.
Yeah, a lot of people also talked about just it's kind of niche, it's more focused on exactly what we're researching, but still big enough that you're talking preclinical, clinical, a bunch of different topics, and so.
And we tried to keep that in mind in developing this program, so that people who, are clinical or, have more of a basic science spin on their work, can find their people to talk to, but then also foster discussion between people who are in the different fields. So,
So what are you going to be presenting at USASP?
Yeah, so in addition to
running all of that,
I'm not the person who's completely in charge, but I'm on the committee. So in addition to that, I have a poster on, I think, Wednesday afternoon. And the topic of that poster is how changes in the gut microbiome that are associated with a condition called sickle cell disease can drive pain in a mouse model of sickle cell disease. And that work not only will be in poster form, but I'll also be discussing in the session that I am chairing on Friday morning from, I believe, 10 to 11:30. I have to do the time zone change in my mind. But that session is called Of Mice, Men, and Microbes. How changes in, thank you. We love a good pun. How changes in the gut-brain axis can affect pain and comorbid conditions. And so I'm discussing my preclinical work in sickle cell disease mice in that session. And then Dr. Erin Young, who's at the University of Kansas Medical Center, will also be participating in that session, as will Dr. Kara Margolis, who's at NYU. So it should be a really exciting session. We're hoping to get lots of audience participation and questions at the end. So.
Well, so if there's only one thing that someone can take from your research at either your poster or your talk, what do you hope that is?
Yeah, I hope people realize that the study of gut microbiome in the context of pain, we're not sticking to only correlative studies anymore. We're starting to actually dig into mechanisms of how changes in microbiome whether it's bacteria or metabolites that bacteria are producing, how these things can actually start on a functional level driving pain. So we're really interested in tackling that question. I think Erin and Kara are also very interested in tackling that question. So I hope that's the theme that comes across from our session and then from my poster more specifically.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about how gut microbiome also affects like mental health and like a whole bunch of things that people don't like think about.
Right? Everything. Yeah.
That people don't think about. So it's really awesome that you're looking like mechanistically and actually finding like a solid link between how they're talking to each other.
Yeah, and Kara's a clinician at NYU, and so she will, I think, have more clinical data in her talk than Erin or myself, and she is very interested, from my understanding, in how, again, like affective or mood disorders are also altered in conditions where there are changes in the gut microbiome. So nice. I'm really excited to hear what she has to talk about.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing all your work at USASP.
Thanks. Yeah. See you there.